Hello folks, welcome back to the channel. Uh, just having a quick look at what we've got broadcasting here. Just give me a sec. This is the first time I'm streaming since I've jumped over to the 5090. Looks like I just have a little bit of work to do on Race Lab here, as you guys can't see me, so just give me a sec. Guess I should have done a little practice stream before this afternoon. For whatever reason, I have this background picture being shown rather than the actual overlay, which is very confusing. So give me a sec to sort that out. And there we go. No idea what just happened, but now you can see me and you can see the screen. Sorry about that. Well, welcome back to the channel. I haven't streamed in ages, haven't posted a video in ages. It's all been just a little bit slow for the last month or so. So I've been desperate to get back in the rig, to be honest. And yeah, I'm super keen to get another video out. But as I said, when I was racing a couple of weeks ago, just work and kids has got super busy recently. So yeah, at the moment, just not having enough time to get creative, work on the content, get it shot or get it edited. I do have a video actually recorded with the RS6 a little while ago, still on my to-do list to get the edit done. See if I can find some time this weekend. But yes, big news is 5090 is now in the system, which is awesome. I've been kind of tracking availability for the Founders Edition card in Canada really ever since January and just had absolutely zero luck every time it's come into stock. I guess the bots just grab it from the Best Buy website immediately. But I just happened to be browsing Best Buy at some point last week. I typed in my 5090 just in case, and randomly at a Best Buy brick and mortar store near me, there was one 5090 showing as in stock. I honestly assumed it was just, I don't know, an error in the listing, but tried to reserve it, and then it all went through. Picked it up later that day. So there we go. So the card, obviously, because there's no choice, is a Zotac gaming card. I would love for it to have been the FE, but as I said, they're just like gold dust. So this is not a small form factor card. It's pretty big, but the case I bought back in the day for the 4090 is pretty big, so that's not really an issue. I'm investigating whether to get a 90-degree adapter from Corsair, but of course they're all out of stock as well. But yeah, and I've done a couple of races on it this week. This will be the first time we're streaming on it, and I would say it finally feels like the triple 4K is kind of like built for this card. The 4090, it always felt like it was a real stretch running it. You know, there were some glitches in Windows when even when I was just selecting the display in Windows, it would kind of freeze for a second or so, and it worked fine and the races were fine, no real issue. But now that we've jumped to the 5090, what's been kind of cool actually is I'm able to run all three monitors at their default resolution, which is 240 hertz, which is excellent. And therefore I can kind of just set my own refresh rate or FPS limit, I should say, within iRacing. So right now we're set at 144. Tried it at 165, but honestly didn't really notice the difference. So cap it a little bit lower than that just to save a little bit of energy from the GPU. And I've been able to turn up some of the settings. I've got the trees back on. I've got the number of lights back up to 3. These were things that I had turned down previously. I've probably upped the performance a little bit in the first column. I think I put sky clouds on medium. I think everything else is probably similar. Maybe put foliage up just a little bit. And then, yeah, we've got anti-aliasing. I had it MSAA, and that's what I had it on before, but the difference now is I've just moved up to 4X. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but I feel like someone is at the door here, so I'm just going to get that, and then we're going to jump back. We'll be kicked over to the race server in 10 minutes, so I'm just going to do some quali laps, but give me 2 seconds here, and I will be back. Alright, sorry about that. Family is now back in the house. So yes, 5090. It's been great. So this will be the first test of the stream, but obviously don't expect any issues with it. But it's been really fun just playing with these increased graphic settings, and everything feels a little bit smoother. 4090 did a great job. Never really had any complaints, but couldn't get the same sort of frame rates, and there were small glitches and maybe just some micro stutters that perhaps were caused by the 4090. Don't know for sure, but did a fresh reinstall of Windows and put the 5090 in, and it's been plain sailing ever since, which has been great. Unfortunately, I have not been plagued with any of the driver issues which I've been hearing about as well, which I was a bit nervous about, but it's been fine. Okay, we're in Group 13. I'm just going to do a couple of quali laps because I've been running on full fuel here. Just to get a feeling for the car again, and then it will be a quick practice and straight into quali. So we're running GT Endurance. It's going to be about a 3-hour race, I think, and it's just me, no teammate for this one. So going to just try and get through a proper quali sim here. I'm hoping to be reasonably competitive, but it's going to be very busy. There are 464 teams. 579 drivers right now, so quite should be plenty of splits. Had a couple of good races this week. Had a race in fixed and then a race in GT Sprint. And we're racing on the Alt again tonight. Alt now has got ahead of the main account, so have to figure out what we do there, but might just see how far we can push the Alt on now. But yeah, so we're 3.1k, which I don't know, probably will put us in top split, but as I said, busy race, so maybe it will be second split. We'll just see. And last time out for GT Endurance was at Watkins Glen. It's probably over a month ago now, and was having a steady race, and then someone rejoined right in front of us and we T-boned them, and that was that. So obviously hoping to avoid that tonight. Super disappointed, to be honest, that day, as you know, in single class, you know, should be less prone to incidents and bad rejoins, but there we go. It's one of those things, I guess. So I'll see what sort of lap time we can put in here. Well, I was just seeing how far we could push that first lap, and not that far.
Damage in various places. That aero damage is probably slowing you.
So we'll reset, and we'll just have a really quick out lap here and just see if we... oh no, we probably won't get a full lap in. Well, let's hope that's out the way before we get into the actual quali session. I mean, the Porsche can feel a bit loose at T1, but not traditionally had any issues with it. I think I was just really trying to get on it. And now we know where the limit is. Yeah, let's see if we can just at least push around and at least get T1 done again, and we'll get around the lap as much as we can, even if we can't set a time. Can't remember the laps I was doing earlier this week, but anyway, conditions, obviously a night race. The session starts at around think it's 9 o'clock. Oh, just 1 second there. 9 o'clock in sim time in the evening. No rain before the session and no rain forecast, so pretty steady in terms of weather. Can't remember what happens to the temperature, whether it goes up or down. I think it's going to start off somewhere in the mid-20s. Right, we won't get a full lap in here before we get kicked to the main server, but we will just have a little thrash around nevertheless, just to get familiar again with the quali set. So pushing hard again there. So we have to be careful T when we get into quali. I was kind of slow in but too fast out on that one, just didn't have the right line to take it at that speed. In terms of race session, we're up to 516, 644 drivers. Alright, so there's the race server. Got familiar enough with the car again. Let's get ready to race. So yeah, been super happy with this 5090 so far. We'll see. We'll see how reliable it is. I was actually starting to get some blue screens. No idea, and that was with the 4090. Sorry, before I did the reinstall of Windows. Don't know whether stuff was getting corrupted. It had been a while since I'd done a fresh install. Don't know whether it was the 4090 or something else, but yeah, nothing that happened during the race, I don't think. But anyway, just felt like a good moment to fresh install Windows and then also stick in the 5090 at the same time. One program that I don't know if anyone uses frequently, which I came across in the last couple of months, is Revo Uninstaller. I was using it this time just to clear out a lot of the default Windows, or the apps that Windows installs that you don't really need, like phone apps and all those other things. And that has been quite good because it really seems to do a good job of cleaning stuff out, because it also cleans out the registry files and all of that good stuff, which has been pretty cool. So if you have not come across Revo Uninstaller, I would recommend that as a program just to have. You can have it as a portable file, so you don't have to actually install anything. And a great way to have some control when you're uninstalling programs. Make sure they don't leave anything behind. So, right, we're in split 2. Okay, that's cool. So that should be a nicely competitive split for us. So, as always in these big races, I always feel like a top 10 is a good result, just given the chance of incidents, etc. Given we're in split 2, maybe a top 5 might be possible, we'll see. Again, just using this warm-up as a chance to get used to the quali set. I was banging laps in earlier on the full fuel because I hadn't done a full fuel run. for a little while. Right, it's going to be quite good to have this race recorded because I am quite interested to see how the FPS runs throughout the race. Alright, quali set. Yeah, whoa, so we've got a 3.9k, so obviously that individual will be paired with a lower class driver, 3.7. And we are, yeah, so I think it's going to be super, super competitive. So I think, yeah, see where we are after quali, but hopefully a top 10 quali if we can hope up a half decent lap here. Let's see. Quite enjoying this running at night. It's also a good test for the 5090. I mean, obviously you don't get shadows being cast by the sun, but you get quite a few shadows being cast by the lights and headlights and mirrors. So it's been kind of useful to be able to dial in the graphic settings in these conditions. And it was we had some light rain, I think, earlier in the week, or at least the track was wet in one of the races that I ran, even though it wasn't raining. And again, 5090 performed really well in those conditions. So unfortunately, I feel like you kind of get scammed by the manufacturer. These cards are so expensive. But with this triple 4K setup, it now feels complete with that graphics card, to be honest. So hopefully we can just settle on this set of equipment for a little while. So track temp 24.4. No rain in the forecast. Do a double check of the weather before we go to the grid. Let's see if we can just get 2 half decent laps in, see where this puts us. As I said, it's competitive, so my top 10 might be a little out of reach, I don't know. Depends how fast these folks are.
Green flag, green flag. Okay, here comes your first time lap.
Steady sector 1 there, nothing crazy. T1 was a bit nervous after what happened in the warm-up. Well, if we can just make sunset half decent. It's been a decent banker lap. Don't know how fast it is, but it's felt okay. happy with that lap. I'm not sure I'll be able to go much faster, but we'll try. Shame we could clip the curb there. Would have made up a couple of temps, I think. Very similar lap time so far. Probably means I got almost everything out of the first lap. Just couldn't get on the gases earlier there. Paul races 3 hours, I think, today. Yeah, just 3 time away there. Last corner. Yeah, 3 hours, I think, Paul. Double check when we get into it. That's a long one. Well, didn't find any more time, but yeah, it's tied up here. Almost hit through sunset there, but not quite. Well, there we go. 2 lap times almost identical.
Checkered flag, checkered flag.
Alright, we'll get shuffled down a little bit, but yeah, not bad. So I'm guessing some of these guys will be pretty rapid in the race. That is for sure. Yes, Paul, I think it's 3 hours. We'll do a quick check here. Right, weather, yeah, full clear, all good. So what have we got? We got penalties every 25 incident points. The race itself. Yeah, 3 hours. So it's going to be a long one. Turn the fan up. Always get a bit hot. All right, going to pop to the washroom. And then we will get racing. Just going to stick on the enduro set before we do that. Okay, back in 1 second. Right, let's get ready to go. Quick check on the set. Yep, enduro set. Looking good. So, no multi-class.
Line up on the left side. The estimated strength of field is 2,927. Closed. Pit road is closed. We expect to be fighting for the podium.
Fighting for the podium. Well, we'll see about that. Might need a little bit of luck for that to be the case. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the pace is. So I had a fixed race, split 2 on, I think, Monday or Tuesday this week, can't remember. And that's the other lights to flag win. Obviously not as competitive as the split we're in today. And then I ran GT Sprint the following night. Was in split 1 and I think finished P5, although I did get the benefit of a few crashes on that one. But yeah, 2 pretty good races actually. So yeah, I mean, we'll just we'll just feel out this early stint, get a sense of what the pace is of the cars around us, try and stay out of trouble, and then we'll just take it from there. Ideally, we can just find cars with similar sort of pace and just kind of get steady. So inside line for T1, I probably prefer it, but I don't think it makes huge amounts of difference, honestly. Like I said, I kind of expect these guys around us to be a bit rapid, but hopefully the race can come to us. We can just settle in early. Always love seeing that Falcon livery. I think is that P1? Yeah, it must be. Not going to do too much tyre warm up here. I'd rather just preserve fuel. Long race. Hopefully everyone treats the first few laps sensibly, and everyone can just kind of get up to their own pace, and we see where we're at. As always, enjoying running the Porsche. It's been a decent year for trying different cars. I run a couple of the specials in different cars. Was in the Acura for Bathurst. Run the Lamborghini with Pant in one of the Enduros. So yeah, been mixing it up a little bit, but I have to say I do feel like this tends to be my default when I've not done as much practice. I just feel like I can always get back into the Porsche and get familiar with it pretty quickly. Oh, that blinker is not a big problem for the race. So yeah, hopefully the stream is nice and smooth. I don't think it'll really seem any different to the 4090. The settings are the same. I'm not trying to increase what the GPU is doing there. Not really made any changes to the... Oh my god, look at this blinker here. This is a disaster. Oh my god, has he gone for real or not? Oh my god, that is a shocker. He was out of... My god, he was out of the picture for so long there. And we're not getting any packet loss warnings, so assume our connection's good. Normally is. But yeah, it's the first race in 5090. If you weren't there at the beginning, we are at Sebring, 3-hour GT Endurance, just the GT3s. And no weather incoming. It's going to be dry throughout the whole race. So let's see how we get on. And split 2 as well.
Get ready, going green. Pace car is off, be ready.
First casualty. Well, that was the blinker, so not too disappointed to see him go, but always sucks at the start of a long race when you qualified well. bunched up here. Notoriously a little bit slow through that chicane, so it's always my place where I feel weakest on this track. Probably sunset as well. Felt like I was giving time up there in the races earlier this week.
6.7. You're in fourth position.
So just trying to settle in. I mean, I feel like we've got good pace here. Don't think we're any faster than the cars ahead, that's for sure. So just going to try and be steady. Guys behind just starting to battle a little. Shouldn't really need to be worried about tyre wear tonight with the temperatures. What are we at? Only 4.4, yeah, should be okay there. Yep, pretty steady so far. P1 just starting to break away. Just struggling now, last corner. Dropped a couple of tenths there, annoying. to get on top of that next lap. It's going to cost us otherwise. Just pushing a little bit here, obviously, because we've got P5 giving us the hurry up. We've just started to drop back now from P3, which is a little annoying. Still struggling, so let's Dimitri may have a run here, and as always, endurance race, won't fight too hard. Well, I've just lost confidence in the last sector, which is a pain. So if he's going to send it, we'll, as I said, we won't work too hard to keep him behind here. Check of his iRacing here. Who are we dealing with? Oh, a 2.6k driver. Well, he's on it, because I'm driving to my pace right now. I'm overshooting my pace. Okay, getting hustled here a little bit, showing him my driving. It's annoying because he's, I feel like I should be able to keep him behind me, but he's right there. And we're just sliding around a lot now because I'm pushing. So I think he may make a pass attempt next corner. Which, so not yet. As I've been struggling with the last corner, but fortunately had a decent one that lap. Yeah, under a bit of pressure here, not driving great. You try and pull this back together. And hook up a decent lap ideally now, just to kind of get the confidence back. Having the toe doesn't help either, obviously. Just can't quite drive as smooth at the moment. Just struggling here. And to be honest, I really want to kind of wave this guy by because there's traffic all behind. Certainly at the phase of the race we are a little bit slower than him. We'll just keep plugging away. Yeah, if he gets close enough, we'll give him the room. Getting a little late on the throttle there. I'll give him another run down here.
1.7. The leader is running 0.9. Clear on the left.
A bit of an unnecessary use of a 1X there. Didn't need to get out there in the end. But yeah, we're under pressure. As expected, competitive split. Just can't break away. I'm sure for Demetrius is a little frustrating because he's got Annabelle right behind him as well, causing a bit of a traffic jam here. Just can't hook up that last corner, and I'm chewing into my incident points because of it. Just under pressure here, not been able to get a good rhythm yet. Just struggling. Maybe just cook my tyres a little bit too. Oh, don't know what happened there. Dimitri has disappeared. Don't know if he's crashed or what. Interesting. Maybe this will just allow me to be able to bring the tyres back a little bit. Maybe I've just been cooking them. Yep, no idea what happened to Dimitri there. Don't think he blinked out. Didn't see it. Check the replay. Right, let's see what sort of pace Annabelle's got. Won't get the benefit of the toe without a mistake from me. So that's got to be the name of the game now, drive without mistakes. look at that, 2/10 just through sunset. Not my fastest part of the track there. Losing time to these guys as well. Frustrating. Don't have the pace at the moment. Just a quick look at the pit stop here, make sure we're all set up there. Check tyres in a moment. Yeah, just don't have the pace right now, it's frustrating. Dropped another 4/10 on that to Annabelle. Still, competitive split, so got to bear that in mind too. Let's just see if we can find where we're losing this pace. 2/10 in sunset, it's consistent lap after lap. 10th into T1 there. Yeah, just kind of losing almost a 10th a corner to these guys. Kind of sucks, to be honest. We'll just keep plugging away. Just made up a little bit of ground there, Ananda, but I'm not sure why. Maybe just made a mistake somewhere. And 2/10 at the S's. Just giving away too much time, really. Especially now he's in the toe. Trying a slightly different braking into sunset, not faster but sort of longer and lighter, seeing if that helps us a little. That was a decent sector one, but still losing pace to these guys. Yeah, just kind of losing a little bit of pace everywhere. But you know what? It's not too close. You know, it's under a second, but stable-ish depending on the lap we have. But look at that, 2/10 every lap. Just can't afford that. Just always means it's going to bring them into play. And then another 2/10 at sunset. Well, yeah, that was not a great lap, unfortunately. Annabelle right with us now. Yeah, I mean, kind of same approach as earlier, really. Just try and stay consistent. Not work too hard to keep him behind. He's right with us now. Went deep into the hairpin, unfortunately. Yeah, just a couple of loose corners now. Alright, just over half a tank left. I mean, it's running P4, can't really complain about that, given split 2 and the competitive nature of it. A little bit happy with how I'm running sunset. Oof, I certainly don't have that sort of pace. Slightly better hairpin, still maybe a little bit on the edge, but it's okay braking point wise. Yep, I mean, Annabelle's right with me. We've had a pretty decent lap this time, and he's right there. Yeah, I mean, it's close racing all the way through here. All of us about 0.3, 0.5 apart behind us. I just can't get on the gas as early as these guys. They're just running in a little hot.
1.4.
Yeah, I feel like I'm creating a little bit of a traffic jam here. Definitely under a bit of pressure. Kind of been like this the whole way through the race. As you can imagine, not really doing any fuel saving right now. Just going to push all the way through this first stint. And then we'll start taking more note of that. We've got a bit of space, hopefully later on in the race. Even then, really worked hard to get on the throttle early. But Annabelle, right there.
1.4.
Bit deep there. I mean, we're lapping relatively consistently. Just can't shake these guys. Terrible sunset, unfortunately. It would have been a decent lap until then. Just couldn't get the car stopped.
1.6.
Yeah, Shane was having a good lap, and then sunset really threw me. And now it's tough start to this lap with a little bit of pressure again. Hard work, this one. Hard work indeed. Just hear Annabelle getting on the gas so much earlier than us. Yeah, sunset's kind of been a problem all night. Let's see if I can just tidy that up this lap. Yeah, not really. It's a little better, I guess.
1.6.
Can see Alabal doing some fuel saving, which is sensible. I mean, that's the easiest way to get by us, really. Although he does have some pace now. We'll see if he sends it or not.
Car right. Still there. Stay on the left.
Try and give him plenty of room here.
On the left. Keep to the left. Clear.
Of course, the problem here, once you let one go, you get hustled immediately. Let's just hope he can get up to speed, maybe tow us along for a bit. Wouldn't hurt for a lap or so. So we will be under threat now a little bit from Christian, but we will have the tow, which will help just a little bit. And a touch deep into sunset, we got away with it that lap.
2.3.
Really sad to T1. I just sort my line out here. Yeah, in danger of going backwards here. Just sector 1 was a bit of a nightmare there. Well, at least Annabal's not been able to skate off immediately. Did get 0.8 ahead at one point. I just reeled him back in a touch here. Alright, 36 litres of fuel left. A third of a tank.
The leader is running 1 even. 1.4.
Yeah, so just kind of status quo everywhere here. Just lost a little bit in the hairpin there. And Annabelle's just started to get ahead of us on this lap. Just trying to stay with them in this section, so difficult. Again, just too slow at sunset. It's be a longer lighter, I think.
1.2. That was your fastest lap of the session. The car in P4 just set the fastest lap. 0.8. Right side. Stay on the left. Clear. Right side. Still there, hold your line. Clear.
So the chair's getting chewed up a bit at the moment. Frustrating, but you know, it's a long race. I'll try and bear that in mind. Is that a bad sector one? I don't know. I wasn't really expecting to be under threat, but there we go. Reality is, the pace just isn't where it needs to be right now. I'm not sure why. Just try our best to hang on to Christian now. Yeah, just not feeling it. Don't know. Car feels fine.
The car in P1 just set the fastest lap. 0.7.
It's just such a tight field too, which is pretty cool. So any mistakes get punished quickly. Just really slow here in sector 1, just like last lap. Maybe just T1, I just don't have the confidence right now. Yeah, I was kind of hoping to be able to hold my own against these guys, but we've just steadily dropped back throughout the stint. Can't put my finger on it really. It's not the same experience I had in GT Sprint or Fixed earlier this week. I kind of remained competitive where I was throughout the stint there, so I'm not sure. Something not quite working for me. Yeah, it's as if the fuel is burnt off. I just haven't been able to extract the pace. Again, we'll be under threat here and into sector 1.
1.3.
A little bit better there. I think T1 driven it a bit more at the speed with this fuel load. That was a bad corner there. Slow in.
Right side. Clear on the right.
Not sure what happened there. It's a 0x. But I think he's going to send it down into the inside here.
Still there, hold your line. Keep to the left. Clear on the right. The car in P1, just at the fastest lap. 0.4. Right
Yeah,
side.
just kind of getting mugged a bit here. It's tricky. These guys are just quicker than us.
1.9.
There's not much more to it than that, really. Yeah, just kind of slipping down. I mean, hopefully we can just hang on to a top 10, but just don't have the pace for these guys. Do not have the pace at the moment.
Car on. Clear.
Don't really have anything else. There's nothing going on with the car. We don't have damage, I don't think.
Car looks fine. No
Yeah.
damage to report.
So yeah, not sure. Oh, let's just try and stay steady until the pit stop. Yeah, I mean, I feel like all these guys are running similar pace and just suck back into them and give them a chance. Especially through here. Just cannot get on the gas early enough. And they just make up that 1 to 2 tenths in sunset every lap without fail.
1.5.
Oh, slightly better last S's. Well, I was hoping to be able to do a bit more chat on this one, but honestly, this is exhausting. Feel under pressure and a little bit slow. Busy race.
The leader just did a 0.9.
Just kind of feel vulnerable in so many sections of the track right now.
1.1. Just check the fastest lap of the session.
So basically there's a gap back to P10, but otherwise it's just tight all behind me. And again, just cannot get through those S's. Eleven leaders, so pit stop soon.
Just check the fastest lap of the session.
Kind of wondering whether I should get into second gear there, but don't really want to change the habit. Do feel slow through sector 1 at the moment. Just need to check the fuel and tyres. We'll do that on the back straight when we get a minute. Right, so tyres looking good, yep, everything looking good. Alright, 2 laps of fuel.
0.8. Just check the fastest lap of the session.
Yeah, I think I might start toying around with second there. Like I need to get better drive out of those corners. That last corner, killing me. What are we up to now? 6x. Not ideal, not terrible. 1 lap of fuel to go. It'll be interesting to see how many more laps the leaders can do, because we haven't been able to save it all with this pressure. Kind of pushed a little harder in second there. I think that might be the strat going forward. Have to relearn the sequence a little. Well, at least I feel like a bit more comfortable in the pace here. Haven't dropped too far back from Dominic. Still a struggle. Right, fuel good, tyres good.
Don't forget to pit this lap for more fuel. Pit boxing in 5, 3, 2, 1. Right here.
Oof, that was tough. Really, really tough. I think this is going to be a tough race the whole way through. Now, most people have been able to make this lap, which we haven't, so that's probably going to cost us a position or two. But yeah, we'll just try and stay alive. But yeah, it's funny, compared to the 2 races I did earlier this week, just feel like my pace is not the same. Yeah, big difference. But that's alright. We'll roll on. We've got no damage. That's always kind of key. Let's keep this running.
Okay, go.
Well, always want a pit stop without any dramas, so pretty happy with that. I feel like it has a bit more front end now. Let's play with the brake balance on this stint. Probably should have done it last time. Yeah, I mean, hopefully we haven't fallen out of the top 10. That's just kind of what I'm hoping for. I think we did have a bit of a gap down to P10. We'll see how many laps people can go. I assume most people have pitted 1 lap later than us. Got to get used to it. More responsive nose in second gear there. Well, down in... maybe we're down in 8th. That sounds about right.
The leader's pitting now.
So yeah, 2 laps longer than us. Impressive. We just do not have the pace really to fuel save.
The leader is running 7.2. You're gaining on the car in front. The gap is 3.1 seconds.
Wouldn't mind a bit of fresh air, to be honest, for this stint, to see if I can find better pace. Felt like I was under pressure all of the first stint and really didn't drive well, I think. Just trying to avoid these 1Xs getting too many already. What are we at? 6 so far. Yeah, we've dropped out of the top 10, I think, here.
You're in the top 20. Nice work. Car right. Still there, hold your line. Clear.
So kind of unexpectedly in a bit of a battle here. Take a look at Felix in a second. .1k, so he's going to be competitive with us at a minimum, if not faster, given our pace today. Almost didn't go by, to be honest, but kind of felt that it just had too much extra speed. See how long that actually lasts for, because he does look quick.
The leader's pitting now. Car 7, jump the front.
And I'm just a bit confused. Can't imagine we've made gains forward here, so just see where everything shakes out in a minute, position-wise.
You're in the top 10.
Yeah, I think prefer second gear there. feels slightly more comfortable, so I think we've got at least 1 or 2 positions in the pit stops. Which I'd kind of expect, to be honest, given where we were. Maybe just the one, not sure, can't remember if... I don't think Victor is ahead of us. Felix behind us. And if we're not on it, he's right there. We just had a poor corner. But hopefully we can just get a bit of a tow from Victor here to help us out a little. Yeah, I mean Felix pretty racer behind us. Not losing too much ground to Victor at the moment. Maybe we're just catching up this back marker a little bit. Well, at least we've got a bit of a gap down to P10.
Left side. Still there, hold your line. You're in the middle, 3 wide. Still hold. Clear, 2 wide. Clear. 2.3.
A little bit sketchy with the back marker there. Yeah, it wasn't the cleanest set of corners there. Just I kind of got sunset all wrong because of the back marker, but it was really my fault. Just didn't approach the corner right, carried too much speed from that kind of middle line and didn't get on the brakes hard enough. It was all a bit messy really. Reality is we've got a bit of a challenge staying with these guys because we're already offset on their pit stops. I think they are probably a little bit quicker on track than we are. To be honest, looks like Felix got a good run here. We won't fight him too hard if he's coming by.
Car right. Keep to the left. Still there, hold your line. Keep to the left. Clear on the right.
Yeah, so a good clean pass there. No complaints on that one now. I just need to try and stay with him.
2.3.
Alright, 3-second gap. So, try and hold on to this position out. Do have a back marker between us as well. But a back marker appears to have decent pace. Again, just start to lose touch of these guys a little. Those S's. Ugh. No nightmare all race. Okay, so 3.2 gap back to Vincent, so that's good at least. The field just starting to bunch, and then we got a back marker just in front as well, in front of these guys. Well, happy to just be able to stick with them, get to Vincent behind, just sort of a steady 3 seconds-ish. Obviously, Felix getting held up by Victor here.
1.7.
kind of do with Felix making a move. I don't know if we would get past Victor because we didn't really have a run before. Well, I mean, everything's just status quo. Felix doesn't look like he's quite getting close enough to Victor. We've got a steady gap back to Vincent with this sort of lap time. We're obviously getting the tow, which is beneficial too. So all in all, not unhappy with how the second stint's playing out right now. This could be the move here. So we'll see. Felix got a good pass. I mean, we weren't really pressuring Victor when we were behind earlier. Now Vincent has just caught up a bit. Well, I'd noticed the last couple of laps just how much Felix was having to get out of it in the last corner. So I just kind of put the nose at the inside to see, and indeed made a difference. So back marker ahead now. So challenge now obviously is try and break away from Victor if possible. Get him out the toe. That'd be great if I can get back into Felix's toe. That'd be kind of the double win for us. Still 3 seconds back to Vincent, so that gap hasn't changed. Right. Hopefully Junior will let us pass somewhere here.
1.8. Car right. Clear.
Don't know if that was an intentional move over or if he just ran wide, but either way we'll take it. Seven back to Victor now. Vincent's closed in a little bit with all that traffic. So Victor just went deep there. Might need to try and start doing just some mild fuel saving here. Right, it's been busy. A stint started off quiet and got a bit hectic, but now we've got a gap ahead, gap behind. Trying to settle into some pace. Dropping back from Felix here, not a great sector one. Two Felixes ahead, wow, Felix is everywhere. I feel like that name's getting more and more popular. We quite enjoyed it when we picked it for our son. Time in Canada certainly wasn't a particularly common name. Quite a bit of it in Europe, I think, South America. Yeah, just dropping back from Felix here in 7th. Looks like he's quicker than us, which makes sense. Didn't take him too long to get past us earlier. He just navigates Felix C as a back marker. Alright, we're running top 10. I mean, that's okay. Pace has not been as good as I would have liked, but
1.9. Car right. Clear.
that was a little bit sandy there into T2, but I just didn't really want to wait around. Only 1.3 back from Felix here, so we can get in his toe. .1 back to Victor, 2.6 back to Vincent. Those two pulling each other along a little. Just put the brake balance back one click there. Just trying to play with that more distant than I did the first instance, if it helps us a little. Yeah, I just don't have the pace of Felix here. Oh, we had a good sector one actually, that was nice. Get behind's a bit more stable now. To 2.7. More back markers coming up here. Not quite in the toe, but ticking along. Just trying to fuel save into sunset there and totally misjudged it. A bit silly. Just gave up half a second, literally. Really silly. Right, 2.4 back to Vincent. He's got past Victor. So he's got pretty steady pace there. Just losing touch with Felix now.
1.3.
Who's there? Oh, Vincent's catching us here. Yeah, just taking a couple of tenths out of us there. Hopefully Connor can sort of wave us by at some point if we get close enough.
Car on your left. Stay on the right. Clear on the left.
Right, only 2 seconds back to Vincent now. Just eating away a little bit.
1.6.
Have to be careful of fuel here. We're right on. Oh no, 11.6 actually. Actually looking at the wrong fuel number there. So yeah, 11.6 till empty. We'll see how close that is to see if we need to try and work for an extra lap. Well, definitely having to work hard for this one tonight. No gimmies anywhere. Way too hot there. Yeah, gap to Vincent 2.3. So we basically lost just under a second of gap. Not falling too far back to Felix, so I'll take that.
1.2.
Right, about a third of a tank left now. Go back one more click on the brake balance. Just trying to remember that for the pit stop 2 back. Gap to Vincent, stable. 2.5 seconds or just below. Right, just need to have a look at fuel. Oof, 10.1, so yeah, we've got to try and do some fuel saving here then. Try and make that lap, given how we got kind of killed last time for it. Try and do it without giving away too much time to Vincent, but we need to do it. 9.9 over the line. Yeah, so we have to do some big lifts now.
1.4. Car right, clear.
Should do a little bit of short shifting now, but some big lifts at the end of straights. And recoup that 0.2 of a lap. Got enough of a margin back to Vincent to just work on this. Gap back to Vincent. 3 seconds. Yeah, well, I have to work this pretty hard. Alright, 0.0 over the line, so we know we're towards the end of this pit lane as well.
1.2.
Alright, 3 seconds back to Vincent. This is going to help. Let's get focused on this fuel save now. Wonder if Felix is also fuel saving. Kind of status quo now behind him. It's not making a huge difference right now. .2. We're getting slightly closer, I guess. You have to work hard. .0 here. Slowly but surely, 27 litres of fuel left.
Car on the right.
3.1 back to Ashley now, interesting. I haven't done any fuel calculations, and my hope is we won't need a splash and dash, but it is possible we will. Actually, maybe we will, looking at this. And that could drop us down the order at the end of the race, which would be a shame, but just did not really prep for that, so we'll just see where we end up here. Save as much as we reasonably can here, and then we'll just deal with the consequences. Right, 7.3 remaining, so we'll start to make an indent. Gap is 3.4 to Ashley now. Okay, 7.1 laps over the line here, 7.0. And still need a bit more. Just dropping back to Felix now because of this fuel saving, I think. What are we? 3.2 ahead of Ashley, 2.5 behind Felix. And we've got 6.3 laps of fuel left. And there's an hour and 15 left. So yeah, it's looking like we'll have to splash and dash, which is not ideal. I guess we've basically got all of the last stint to try and make up the gap, whatever it would be in terms of fuel, so we'll see if we can do it. Just try and give ourselves the best chance of that life saving now as well. Poor hairpin there, went in deep. Actually catching us a little bit here. Right, 5.4, this is looking better, so we've got the lap. Question is it going to be enough? Not sure. Sorry, enough, I mean to basically do the last stint without having to do a splash and dash. Just focus on fuel save now, not worry about position.
1.3. You got about 5 laps of fuel left.
Yep. I just don't think we're going to get to the end on this last tank, but we'll try. Ashley Joe's catching us now. Still doing quite an aggressive save.
The car in P1 just set the fastest lap. 0.2.
They're not in the business of fastest laps at the moment, that's for sure. Yeah, don't know if everyone else is just in better shape than us in terms of the fuel save or what, or if everyone just always splash and dashes. It does look very difficult to get to the end here. Too worried about Ashley catching, as I don't think she'll get to us before the pit stop.
The leader is running 0.6.
Okay, we've got 3 laps. Not at risk of the lap, but just still trying to save as much as we can for the last stint. Yeah, I think, target still is the top 10 here. 5 seconds back to Vincent. That's what we're working with. Tell you, even with all this fuel saving, I'm working hard tonight. Right, 2.4 laps till empty, so 2 to go. Still over an hour left in the race, that is the problem. Terrible sunset, got distracted. So it'll be really interesting when we come out of the pits just to see what we would have to do in order to get through, but I just don't think I'll be able to save enough. Would have needed to have done it, I think, on the first stint as well, but I was too busy trying to hang on to positions in that stint. But we'll see, we'll have a target. Right, so we'll be pitting on this lap.
1.4. Have about 1 lap of fuel left.
Just going to push on a little bit with Ashley now so close behind. Let's double check we're set up for a pit stop. Yeah. Putting in the full set, replacing all the tyres. Yes, please. Yeah, I think it's going to be tough, so an hour 3 left.
Pit box in 10, 5, 3, 2, 1. Right here.
Little jump in the box there. Right, so we've got over an hour to go, so I feel like it's going to have to be a splash and dash. But we'll see how many laps we're missing. If it's only one, I'll try and save it. If it's more than one, I'll probably just thrash it, to be honest. Did not take ibuprofen before the race. Shoulder is killing. Brutal.
Okay, go. The car behind is pitting. That car is a lap down. Car on your left.
Just reset the brake balance there. Okay, so we're only 1.1 lap short, so we're going to try and make that. It's going to be hard though. Yeah, so we're 1.1 short, I think. Let's just make sure that's right. Yeah, 1.1 short. Save 8 litres. Don't know if that's possible, to be honest, but we will try.
The car in front is pitting.
Oof, now it's 2.1, so it thinks we're going to run for that extra lap. Well, I'll just have to keep an eye on that.
9.9.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are going to make this extra lap, so going to cost us at the end. Yep, well, would have paid to have done a bit more work on that in advance of the race. Well, it's back to 1.1 now. Yeah, well, we'll see. Got to try and save it as best we can.
is a lap down. The car in front is pitting.
Yeah, so leader pitting now should make it to the end. But we are not going to be in that camp. This car has been in the wars a little.
That car is a lap down. 2.6. Car right. Clear on the right.
Right, so it says we got 2 laps of fuel that we're going to need, so we're just not going to make it. So I'm kind of not sure right now whether to just go hell for leather or to still try and save. So we've lost out to Ashley.
The leader's bidding now.
So got to assume Ashley's got to pit again, not sure really. Yeah, I think we're just going to push. If it's really 2 laps, I'm not going to make that up. So I'm going to try and just go hell for leather and then we'll see what that does for us. .2 behind Ashley. I mean, if Ashley's going to the end, then I'm well and truly snookered on that one.
You're in the top 10.
Need to now get the tyres off for the next stop. So catching Ashley, I don't know if he or she made a mistake.
Car 117 is now leading.
Right, kind of just where we've been the whole race, just sneaking in the top 10. Be nice to get up behind Ash and at least get a bit of a tow.
1.7.
Well, I'm kind of hoping people will stop again and it's not just us, but 2 laps, I mean, it probably was savable, so might be wishful thinking. We just didn't really have the pace tonight. First stint kind of showed us that as we dropped further back. Yeah, 2.2 laps is what I'm getting from my readout in terms of what we'd have to save, and you know, I can save 0.2, 0.3, but that's just too much. Rather just push and just see where that puts us. We will see. Well, gap to Ashley, sorry, is pretty solid. Look at Felix, he's making some ground. Got ahead of guys that overtook us early on in the race. But you know what, happy to have a clean race. It was a bit fruity in the first stint. We were trying to battle folks, but so far so good. 3/4 of a tank of fuel left. Not fuel saving. Actually about 2 seconds ahead of us and not really making any inroads. And yeah, I mean, either everyone else has to do a splash and dash with us around us and we'll end up in the top 10, or we will get pipped towards the end by those who've been able to go longer. Yeah, hard to know what the outcome will be.
1.5.
But so far, the 5090 has been solid as a rock. Hopefully the stream has been nice and stable. Kind of looking forward to watching it back a little bit later. Certainly won't be watching the full 3 hours, but it'll be nice to see kind of what FPS we've been averaging and get a sense if yeah, the stream has been nice and smooth. There's one thing the 4090 did really well, that's for sure. Always felt like the triple 4K was pushing the 4090 to its absolute limit, you know, getting some micro stutters and whatnot, but I have to say, when it, on the streaming quality, if I was getting micro stutters, they never seemed to translate through to the stream, which was really good. Whereas in contrast to the 5090, you know, it's still running at 100% usage, obviously, with this setup. But it's, just seems to eat up this this FPS, to be honest. Looking like we're getting over 120, 130 most of the time, which is great. Be interested to see what it was at the start, whether it dipped below 100. Always thought when I went for triple 4K that kind of needed a 5090 or whatever the next gen was going to be. And yet, now we have it. It's doing a great job. We're up to 2.7 now in terms of the lap, so it just wouldn't have been really difficult to have been able to try and hold on to that. Could have maybe worked down half a lap, but that would have been it. So really, the strat instead is build as big a gap as I can and hope for the best. You guys can probably see on the standings when people have pitted. You'll probably have a better view than I will as to how we're looking, which cars are under a threat from. I'm just hoping it's not everyone. So we've got, you know, an 8.3 second back, 8.5, so just do our best to keep that where it is and hope that's enough. And it doesn't look like Ashley is saving if you know, the gap's up to 2.9 and we're pushing on as well. What I'm kind of hoping is that people have split their last 2 stops to be a little lighter. I don't know. I mean, maybe our pace was just that much off tonight that others were able to fuel save and still kind of run great times or quicker times than us. That's been fun doing a night race at Sebring. Haven't done that in a while. But yeah, certainly some of the leaders were fuel saving enough to only stop twice, so definitely a worry. We won't know until the end now. The one problem I think with not running regularly is just not really having a fuel strat in mind for races like this. I think the last one I did was Fuji, or maybe that was IMSA. But anyway, it rained in one of the last long ones I did, so that sort of messed up fuel strategy anyway. It wasn't as prevalent. Trying to make sure we don't get any more 1Xs now. 7 for the race isn't too bad. 3 hours when I've done all the driving. So I'm just looking at how many laps to with fuel. So it's 17.1 over the line, 17.0. So we are going to have to save a little just to make sure we don't have to do an extra lap there. Yeah, we should be alright. Could probably do a mild fuel save to keep an eye on that. Bit of a gap to Alexander, 8.7 here. Yeah, I mean on this this stint, Ashley's faster. Just don't know if he or she is on lower fuel than we are. Finally found a little bit of rhythm with the car. That first stint was really challenging. Kind of out-qualified my ability tonight, I think. So pace is there, which is good, but could not unlock it in the race. 16.2 here of laps remaining on this fuel. Still need to do a bit more saving. So 16.1 over line. Nearly there now. 16.0 here. Alexander just catching us a touch now. We're doing a bit more fuel saving again. Half a tank of fuel left. So 9 seconds, or 8.9 back to Alexander. It's 15.1. Still gotta save a bit more.
1.4.
Down to 8.4. Interesting, gaps going up and down quite a bit. Maybe just position on the track. Up to Ashley, just creeping up. And then just coming up to a couple of back markers as well. Still slightly marginal for fuel, 14.3 laps. Yeah, 14.1 over the line, nearly there now. tell you, I am feeling it. Always 3 hours driving. It's kind of the maximum for me. Takes its toll. Giving up a second to Alex behind now, it's not ideal. It's a couple of sloppy laps. Okay, 3.2 over the line, so yeah, just about made the fuel save now. Right arm is in need of a break here. So I think basically if the cars around us, yeah, they're not pitting soon, then we know they are full to the end. And then it's just a question of, are they like us and needing a splash and dash, or have they managed to manage their fuel effectively? Yeah, I just can't see when people pitted. Maybe it's something I need to put on my overlays in future. Probably useful for me to see that as well. So Ashley now quite far ahead, at least 3 seconds, or 4.8, huge ahead. Only hope for Ashley is that, you know, he or she has split their fuel stops, but yeah, it's been kind of interesting. The pace has not been there tonight compared to the fixed race where we kind of comfortably had a lights to flag in split 2 earlier in the week, and then GT Sprint where we were P5 in split 1. Certainly, yeah, I felt like I could hold my own in both those races without too much trouble, but tonight just slipped backwards the whole way. Not sure why, to be honest. One of those things. Just running kind of, I guess, relaxed pace, we could call it now. Pushing too much. Aware that just got to make sure we keep that extra lap of fuel, just to help a little bit with the splash and dash. comfortable now. 11.5, 11.4, probably push a bit more. Gap to Alexander is 7 seconds, not too bad.
1.6.
Towed a long way in for a bit, quite nice. I have to say, back to the 5090, ridiculously expensive obviously, but if you take cost out of the equation, it's a hell of a card. With how it's dealing with triple 4K, that's really comfortable. I can't tell you, there's you know, there hasn't been one instance of a micro stutter the whole race. And I would say with every other card that I've had, that's usually been a feature. You know, even if it's a small one, you know, over the course of a endurance race, usually something causes a very minor stutter, and just not even one tonight after 2.5 hours. So really happy with it. Just a shame prices are so stupid at the moment. Don't know if these two are fighting. Hopefully not. Oh, they are. That's not ideal.
Car on your left. Clear on the left. Right side. Clear.
Yeah, I did not do a good job there. That was a disaster. That was just tiredness, I think. Kind of looked like this guy opened the door for me, and I just didn't step on the brakes, so just blew through. That's cost us a second. So on me, that one. Just didn't expect to be let through there, and then did not execute it at all well when I was. What threw me a little bit is I was just double checking if they were racing each other. And once I realised they were, kind of wanted to be a bit more cautious, and then got caught out. Pretty much nightmare all the way through on that one.
Go right.
Well, glad we didn't get caught up in that accident.
2.7.
Push on now, 'cause lost a lot of time. Right, I mean, we're comfortable. 9.1 laps here until empty, so we just can push hard now, try and rebuild the gap back to Alex at least a little bit.
The leader is running 0.4.
Oh, that's handy timing.
Minutes to go. Car right. Still there, hold your line. Clear.
Okay, so 8.3 laps left to fuel over the lines, so we can push on and, I don't know, see what we've got, I guess. Try and avoid that 1x there. Oof, losing time to Alexander left, right and centre. Ashley's well at the field. Oh, making ground on Nenad. That's pretty awesome. But just worried about this splash and dash, to be honest. Double check some fuel stuff in a second here. Just so hard to know whether I'm on for a top 10 finish or top 20 finish. It's all going to come down to what people are doing fuel-wise. Just adjusted my sort of filling down to 0.4 extra, try and be as marginal as possible with that.
1.2.
But yeah, doesn't look like Ashley was doing anything like splitting the fuel, so yeah, I guess either running to the end or they'll do a little splash and dust like us, and that'll be cool because it'll give us half a chance. But we have no chance of not needing a splash and dash, so I'm driving pretty hard now. Car's light, car's quick, track's in good condition. Temps down a little bit, 23.3. Make sure the tyres are selected to off. Yep, no tyres. 0.4 margin. So fuel set.
New fast flat for you.
Pushing hard, but to be honest, looks like everyone is. Not making any ground on Alexander. Hopefully he's got a stop as well. Little loosey there as we push on. Oh, it's absolutely killing, gotta tell ya. Running some decent lap times, it's kind of fun.
0.9. You have about 5 laps of fuel left.
I still need to be a little bit careful with fuel. Go 2 bananas here. Little loose again there, so Nenad and Ashley, looks like they're racing pretty hard, that's cool. Wonder if they're on the same fuel strat or not. Okay, so we've got 4 laps of fuel, and when we pit, then we'll know. Are we going to get snookered and passed by everyone, or have others got to do the same thing? Who knows? But we also pitted later than a lot of these, I think. Oh, Ashley's got passionate ad.
1.1.
Yeah, well, honestly, P10, P11, same pace as us. Surely they're pushing. Kind of annoying, to be honest, not knowing the fuel situation, because it's almost like we're in a race with these guys ahead, but I just get a sense it may just be down to fuel and nothing else.
10 minutes to go. It's going well. Keep at it.
But we'll see. You know, we got 6 seconds to the guys behind. Obviously, if they're not stopping, we'd lose that. We'll just have to see. Yeah, it'd be such a shame because we're just rolling it behind Inad, but just kind of wonder, is that because there's a big fuel save going on? Right, 2.5 laps still empty. So should be good on fuel. Just got to be a little careful.
You have about 2 laps of fuel left.
Put a gap out to Alexander again, but worryingly, that just could be down to pit stop strategy. I don't know. God, it'd be really nice to be racing Ashley and then add while all of these guys are around us. Fingers crossed. Either that, or we're looking really at a top 15, maybe even top 20 at best. So we got one more lap and then we're pitting, so I don't know. Guess we'll find out. I have to say, I'm not particularly hopeful. And it's funny because I was in
To go.
a lot of traffic early on, but I was just having to drive so hard to just stick at it, to be honest. Right, putting in 0.4 extra, so absolutely marginal. We'll go with 0.4, don't want to go any lower than that just in case. Tyres are off. Okay, well, we're pitting. I don't hear anyone else pitting, so got a feeling we're going to get caught out here, unfortunately.
Don't forget to pit this lap for more fuel.
Yep, couldn't make it. Maybe we'll go down to 0.2 actually.
10, 5, 3, 2, 1. Right here.
Yeah, just couldn't get it done.
We're done. Get going. That car is a lap down. Left side.
Okay, drops us down to P12 or 13 here. Not too bad. That was clearly all about fuel saving tonight. Just did not have it in me, to be honest. I think I had the pace for it. I've got to be competitive with these guys ahead as best we can.
You've got about 2 laps of fuel left.
Do without that. Now I can tell you my fuel is still telling me I'm half a lap short. Oof. So this could be tricky still. Okay, we're still short. This is crazy. It's not white flag.
21.3.
So honestly, we're still going to run out as it stands, so I've got to do some massive fuel saving here.
You have about 1 lap of fuel left.
think I really need to get out of this guy's way, honestly.
Left side. Clear.
Well, it's all about fuel tonight, and we did not make the cut on that. So I've got to make one more lap here. And we
Get
are...
the pit for more fuel. You just got the white flag. That means one more lap to go. 5.1. Car right. That car is a lap down. Clear on the right.
Wow, this has been a
Racing on the car.
bad end of the race.
4.7 seconds. The car behind is closing on you. The gap is 2.8 seconds.
Well, I have to say, poorly fuel managed, and just struggled all race. It's not the endurance I was hoping for, must be honest.
To the right. Clear. Car on your left. Clear on the left. Car on your left. Clear.
And we just will not make it round, sadly.
Go right. Looks like you're out of gas.
Brutal.
The gap is 4.7 seconds. The car behind is closing on you. The gap is 1.9 seconds. The car behind is closing on you. The gap is 9.6 seconds.
Wow, brutal. Don't know if we're going to have enough to get over. We are just rolling now. Desperately trying to get this over the line. Wow, that was a super interesting race. Didn't have the pace. Obviously, didn't have the fuel save. Look at this. You can see P24 is coming. Just can we get over the line? We might actually get through this. Maybe this is slightly downhill. I think we're just going to creep over. What an end to the race. What a disaster.
Checkered flag, checkered flag.
Wow.
Okay, we'll get them next time.
So looks like a P17. Looks like a lot of people might have run out of gas too, because, you know, no one came past us. But what a shame. Should have been a top 10, but fuel management was not good enough. Neither was pace, to be honest. Kind of interesting. Keyboard has fallen asleep. Let's wake that up. Brutal. That's just tough. Didn't have the pace tonight. Yeah, the whole way through was kind of tough, and then also just didn't, even without the pace, wasn't able to save enough fuel either. Kind of caught me out, that. Don't know how the splash and dash wasn't enough. That was a bit stupid. Just cut that far too fine. Lesson learnt for next time. Yeah, I don't know if there's that much to see. I can tell you I'm exhausted, but let's have a look early on. I know there was an incident in front of us pretty early on. Try and have a look at that. Yeah, so from a kind of a top 5 start, I think, down to P17. Not not a great race, especially after having such a better, honestly, that's such a better couple of races this week in the fixed and GT sprint. Don't know what it was. It just, this first stint especially didn't feel like we had the pace, and then we're under less pressure in stint 2 and 3, but because we hadn't really done any saving in stint 1, obviously that then just totally cost us as well. Yeah, just a bit of an all-round nightmare. It's not on it tonight, I guess. Despite being able to put this thing near the front of the grid during quali. Yeah, this race pace was not there tonight. All right, let's just jump straight to the results. I can't remember anything of particular note. I mean, to be honest, we're fortunate really to finish P17 after that disaster at the end. Yeah, that really caught me out. So I guess in endurance, when it's fully dry, you have got to get 2 stops. So let's see. Yeah, so Ashley was running on their own. Yeah, just crushed it. That is where we could have been, somewhere up there. But man, I mean, we weren't even close to having enough gas at the end. We were a good 2 laps short, so wasn't really even in the mix. Still made some gains, which is cool. It would have been nice if we were a little bit higher up. Yeah, I just gave away. Look at that. So I actually finished P6 in the end. Maybe a few other people had to drop in for a stop as well. Top 10 should have been on. And now we know for next time, got to be much better at the fuel management. Otherwise, just not going to make it work. Well, good for the safety rating. Not terrible for the I rating. Just a bit of what could have been, to be honest. Cool. Well, thank you for tuning in. Let's see where everything is next week. See if we're going to do some midweek streams. Haven't done that for a while. There's the Porsche Cup next week. Oh, you guys can't see this. That's strange. So a few things not working properly since we switched. Oh, here we go. Sorry, there you go. Okay, let me just show you guys quickly. I didn't realize you couldn't see the results. So, started P5th, finished P17, didn't have any crashes, just a bad race at the end there. And then, yeah, so here's the safety rating, that's good, and plus 35 IR. So, yeah, I mean, it could have been so much better. Let's see what people were collecting up here. Oh, yeah, look at Ashley, plus 83, 2.8k. That's a great race. In the McLaren, so McLaren, Ford, Lamborghini won it. Wow, not many Porsches. I was the first Porsche. Interesting. Everyone is in the McLaren here. What is it that I don't know? Interesting. Amazed that we're the top Porsche. All the way down in 17th. Usually such a popular car. So yeah, still positive IR, so we'll take that. But lesson learned on fuel, and then also when you have a fuel problem, don't try and skimp it in your splash and dash, which is exactly what I did. That was pretty stupid. Should have known better than to do that. And then, yes, let's see, where is everyone racing next week? Porsche is Interlagos, okay. Not raced the Porsche Cup there, so probably won't do that. Where's Ferrari? Thruxton, fun track, not raced on it. Probably should get round to learning that. It says that Spa could potentially be an option. And then where are the GT3s next week? At Imola. Interesting. Okay, well, none of those are shoe-ins for me in terms of tracks that I know with cars I'm familiar with. Let's just check LMP3. I haven't raced this for ages. Nürburgring combined. Ugh. Don't know if I can face that in an LMP3. That must be a really interesting car to drive around there. All right, we will call it there. Thank you for tuning in. It was a fun race, just a disappointing end with the fuel, but there we go. Lesson learned. And we'll see if we jump in next week. Not sure. If I've got time this weekend, I'll get a new video up on the channel. I'm just so behind on things at the moment. But if I can, I'll get the edit done or get it up there, ideally for Sunday, maybe Monday. And then hopefully back in the sim at some point this week. But I can tell you, 5090 paired with triple 4K monitors, smooth as butter. Really, really impressed with that. And even with the settings turned up a little bit with the MSAA at 4x, trees on, and some of the other settings up from what I was running on the 4090, that hasn't created any issues, any stutters at all. So I'm going to go and take a look at the race start now on the stream just to see how the FPS was doing. But yeah, super happy with that, and hopefully the stream was good as well. So thank you for tuning in. I will catch you at some point, hopefully next week. See you later.